Rex, what is the first thing we say coming out of that matchup between those two quarterbacks?
I mean, an all-time classic. Again, like every time these two cats go at it, and we mentioned just them because it really is about the two most talented guys we've ever seen play the position. But, I mean, the game lived up to everything we were wanting it to, and unfortunately for the Bills, it's just a few missed opportunities and a couple of deep balls. They just make a play on one of those things. Are we looking at a different game? It's just, but man, oh man, as a fan of this game, I mean, I wish we get to see it again, you know?
It sucks that someone has to lose in the game.
Yeah, y'all didn't do what y'all was supposed to do.
All right, you want
that ain't.
All right,
have anything. This game was what it was supposed to be. This game was about the two most talented quarterbacks in the entire world going back and forth. And we've seen it before. We saw it in the divisional playoff round a few years ago, which was why we named this the new Brady-Manning competition, right? The new Brady-Manning saga. But when we look at this game, once again, Patrick Mahomes beats Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And we sit on this show and we consistently say how great Josh Allen is, and I agree. But we start to grade Josh Allen on a curve. When we were on the call this morning, it felt like I was listening to LeBron fans before he took his talents to South Beach. It was Josh did this and Josh did that. We were on the phone for 20 minutes, and Greeny didn't even know I was on the phone because y'all waxed poetically about how great the loser of this game was.
He is great.
Rightfully so.
He is great.
He was
RC, this is the second time we've watched this guy go head-to-head against Patrick, and he's been inarguably, at worst, the second best player on the field, if not the best player in the field, and lost both times. Both times because he was let down. He was let down a couple years ago by the defense with 13 seconds, and he was let down yesterday by 3 massive drops in that football game. That the difference in this game in many ways comes down to one quarterback, Patrick, had his guys make plays, and one quarterback didn't. That's a perfect throw to Sherfield down the left sideline. That ends up in a drop. Kansas City defender does not.
So Watson wasn't there to make that a hard catch.
That's a perfect throw to Sherfield on 3rd and 15 or something.
I ain't never seen a perfect throw where you had to lay out laterally to catch it.
This is a perfect throw to Stephon
That's a perfect
Diggs.
throw.
Perfect throw.
So
that's a perfect throw.
The one to Sherfield, the play, that's a perfect. That's 65 yards in the air.
Hey, that's a perfect throw.
But we don't make one of those.
But so here's my question.
Yeah.
Right? Because we want to come here and we want to defend Josh Allen. You don't have to defend him.
Yeah.
You could say straight up, Josh Allen is an absolute dude.
Right.
Josh Allen has shown up for this team when he's needed to, except for when he's needed to most. Josh Allen took the checkdowns the entire game.
Yeah.
I get it. To you, it's the right throw, and it can be the right throw. But if it's the right throw, you have to make it. And yes, Bass misses the field goal, but if we take the crosser and we get a catch and run and we get a little further, we now give ourselves more downs so Patrick Mahomes doesn't get the ball.
Yeah.
And if we do kick it, it's not kicking it from where it is in the elements. Here's the truth.
Okay.
The last 2 years, right, the Buffalo Bills have done what they've had to do to have the divisional game in their stadium.
Yep.
Joe Burrow came there, he walked into your trap, and he took over your trap. Patrick Mahomes came in there, he walked in your trap, and he took over your trap. At some point, Josh Allen is going to have to beat the other great quarterbacks in the AFC. Everybody else, the other quarterbacks, we're 5-0. 0-3 against Patrick, 0-1 against Joe, and the one against Joe is at our crib. At some point, y'all gotta say he's coming up short. We don't say Tom Brady is the greatest of all time because he's the most talented.
But in part,
it's because he's the best when he needs to be the best.
But in part because Adam Vinatieri made some huge kicks when they mattered the most. RC, there's no way that we watched that game and yesterday, just to put it into context. Listen, I'll give you the 3rd and 9 throw. I'll give you that Josh needed to make one more throw or one more decision. He's going up against a top 3 defense I don't think Steph has played like a number 1 receiver right now in football.
Okay, I get
Gabe
that.
Davis not in it. So he's out without at least his number 2. Steph not playing to that elite elite level ball. Kansas City's top 3 defense, 27 first downs. That's the most anybody's had against Kansas City this year. No sacks. No one's done that against Kansas City this year. They scored on 50% of their possessions. They ran for 182 yards, and they had 3 drives. 3 drives of 75 yards or more than touchdowns that no one did against Kansas City.
I understand that. And that all started with James Cook.
But as a huge part of it, that we're not. But I'm not going to let you.
Josh Allen ain't rushed for 182.
But I'm not going to let you sit here.
2 touchdowns.
I'm not blaming
Holmes and not say Pacheco.
I'm not blaming the loss on Josh Allen. I don't believe that Josh Allen is the reason this team lost. I don't believe that. Right. You know what the greats are? The reason the team wins.
So you
and
think
for Josh Allen, I don't care. It does not matter that he played well. What matters is that he's at his house. That's what matters. For whatever year it is, Josh Allen is at his house. And we could talk about Adam Vinatieri. You could say that kickers make kicks, defenses show up. That's not why we give people these gold jackets and put them in different places in the Hall of Fame. It's not why when it's time to present Tom Brady, his presenter is going to say, hey guys, I present to you Tom Brady. I rest my freaking case. Josh Allen is an immense talent, and Josh Allen will probably win a Super Bowl one day. But we have to say that he's coming up short as far as it pertains to greatness.
He's done every dang thing but win those things. The last 4 losses. The last 4 losses, but the last 4 losses, they averaged giving up 34 points a game, and that's Josh Allen's fault? Like, Josh, this is a crazy, here's a little number here. Second best TD to interception ratio in the playoffs, in playoff history.
Yeah.
Except for Patrick Mahomes, right? 21-4. 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. By the way, he also gets 56 yards a game rushing.
Yeah.
So to me, the kid does everything but play damn defense. Right. And that to me is that's where I look at guys.
You know what?
You would have killed for this damn guy.
James Harden has hellified stats too.
But
James Harden has a lot of great stats as well.
RC, this is Ali Frazier. And one day Frazier's going to land the left hook, RC, and he's going to beat one of these damn guys.
He's been knocked out, Josh Allen and the Bills, because we can't say that he's coming up short. The Bills, absolutely. They have lost to Kansas City 3 times. They've been knocked out by Kansas City 3 times. In those 3 games, he alone is 306 yards of offense, 22-1. There is one quarterback in the history of the NFL that has had a season, including the playoffs, to account for 50 touchdowns and not get to the conference title game. Josh Allen's done it twice. Twice. There's no way that we could walk away from yesterday's game and sit there and say Josh Allen came up short. I will give you the 3rd and 9. I'll give you that, and I'll agree with you that. But he was let down.
He's not perfect.
What did you always tell me? You know what? When the defense came back on the field, they were winning. Josh Allen left the field, and they was not this time. This time, he had the ball in his hand. He had the opportunity.
I'm going to give you that.
Let's look at the 2 plays. Let's look at the 2 plays.
Yeah,
let's look at the 2nd and 9. Dan, this one here. Is that on Allen or not?
No. Josh is trying to go win the football game. If he throws that shallow cross to Steph, maybe he gets 4 or 5 yards. Dawkins is getting pushed by Chris Jones. It's a great battle. That's why that throw misses. This is the 3rd down. Now he resets to the middle field. We're going to break this down in detail. He resets, ends up throwing away. I'll give you that you'd love to sit there and say, get to Kincaid in the slot, not to
That's
the outside
difficult.
guy.
That's tough.
Get to Kincaid in the slot. Now maybe it becomes 4th and 1 and 4th and 2.
Here's the tape.
So here's the plays. Now watch as Steph goes in motion. You're going to see there's a post by Shakir in the slot. Now, the linebacker's saying push it. He's trying to find that ball. If he doesn't get pushed back, there's enough air to get that ball to Shakir. Again, if he throws it to Steph, I don't think it's a 1st down at all. Now watch Kincaid, because he's going to peek to the bottom of the screen. He's got a go route. It's not there. Look at the slot. He's maybe trying to move for Steph on the post. If he gets right now to reset to Kincaid, I think it becomes a bang play with him and that middle linebacker Bolton of does he get the 1st down or not? And then I think it becomes decision-making time for McDermott. Do we go for it or not? I think they would have. That's the play where I'll sit there and I say, he was unbelievable. I think he was the best player in the field last night. I need one more decision. I got to do my job, honestly. One more decision, I'll give you that.
See, the one I think the
The second
Chris
down?
Jones hits runs into Dawkins.
Right.
You wish that Josh, because I've seen him do it a million times, feel the pressure a little bit, buy just a little bit more. Tom Brady used to do it all the time, and then pow, it's a touchdown. Like, I would have loved to have seen him do that. I think that's the one he's going to regret more than any of them.
Yeah.
And then, and not alibiing for the guy, but I wish they would have sat back and said, you know what, hey, possible 4 down. I think if the coach reiterates, hey,
Explain
possible
that.
4 down. What I mean by it, it's a 3rd down on the play that you showed the scramble.
Sure.
He's clearly looking for touchdown there.
Right.
All right. However, if you say possible 3rd down, now I'm more likely to take that underneath and now face a 4th down. Because why? RC, we know we don't want to give Patrick Mahomes the ball with 1:40 left.
Right.
No
Not the way
way,
he was playing.
no how. So to me, I'm thinking, I'm not looking field goal here. And neither was Josh, clearly. Josh was thinking touchdown. But in that situation, look, the worst thing that happened is we can take some money right there and then set up a 4th down.
The fine line is the play in the red zone when he scrambles to his left and has that unbelievable throw and catch to Shakir. You could sit there and say, well, why don't you throw a check down? This and that. That's the world you live in with those guys. Like, he's Patrick, Lamar, Josh. That's the world you live in where you sit there and say, rare, super talent, unbelievable throw. And it's hard to sit there and go, well, you should have taken it. You know, because if it makes another play, you sit there and go, oh, my gosh.
That play is not even human. Here's the thing, RC.
I played with a guy like that.
Right.
And Ben wasn't as talented as Josh, but Ben's a Hall of Famer. And we would sit on the sideline, and there were some times Ben would get outside the pocket or he'd do something, and we'd say, well, you got to live with it. Because we've seen him so many other times win us games in that manner. The thing was, and yes, we were great defensively, the thing was Ben won games, right? We're playing against the Baltimore Ravens. Yes?
May I? You had the best defense in the whole freaking league when Ben was winning all those games, RC.
That's right.
They wouldn't have stopped Kansas City yesterday if you would put you on the field.
Squashes your
Troy
point in
Polamalu and James Harrison and all. No, guys, something has to be said here, okay? I was doing talk shows after all those Brady Super Bowls. Do you know how many Super Bowls Brady could have won? He could have won 9 if Wes Welker catches 1 ball. My husband can't throw it and catch it at the same time. If David Tyree doesn't have one stick to his freaking helmet, and if his defense makes 1 stop against the Eagles, Brady threw for 500 yards. His team didn't punt, and they lost. And we didn't come in here the next day and say Tom Brady didn't get it done. Josh Allen was brilliant yesterday. His kicker missed a kick. His coach ran a fake punt for no reason I can ever think of. His best receiver dropped the ball that he absolutely should have caught. And his defense will never, if they were still out there now, they wouldn't have stopped them. Kansas City would have scored 100 points in that game if they had
guess what? Guess what? It was the same thing for the Bills for the first 3 quarters. The Bills were going up and down the football field for the first 3 quarters, as were the Kansas City Chiefs. And when the Kansas City Chiefs finally get a stop, was Patrick Mahomes on the sideline upset because McCole Hardman does something that's a cardinal sin within the red zone, which is try to reach across the goal line when you have another snap. No, you had to go back out and play football. I'm not saying that Josh Allen is not a very talented quarterback. I'm not saying that if you told me you get to go play with Josh Allen, I wouldn't strap my helmet up every day and say, we got a Mickey Ficky chance to beat anybody, because you do. But when we're going to sit on here and just continue to just say, Josh Allen is this, Josh Allen is that, Josh Allen is one of the greatest, at some point, you have to be great enough that when those things go wrong, you find a way to win. And he had the football in his hand with a chance to win. And as great as he'd been the whole day, when we said, no, we're not going to be able to turn around and hand it to 4, he didn't make the plays. He can't kick it. I agree with that. But I feel like at some point, we have to start asking Josh Allen when, in those moments, against those people, and when he does, we get to say all the things we want to. That ain't happened yet.
But the downside RC is
yet.
2 years ago, he did outside of 13 seconds. Yesterday,
what was the score of that game?
When you walk off the field throwing a game-winning touchdown with 13 seconds left. 13 seconds left. That game is over.
And last year,
okay, so question.
Last year, Joe Burrow walked in,
and
there was a line of scrimmage.
So I have a question, right? let's say that game, because Kansas City ain't stopped Josh and them either. Gabe Davis, 200+ yards.
Right.
Were we going to come in here the next day and be like, poor Patrick, you scored 33 points. You had all of these yards. Your defense, no, you wouldn't have.
No.
You wouldn't have said that. But for Josh, we do.
But we wouldn't have said, we would not have taken anything away from the greatness of his performance.
Right.
And that's what I'm concerned about. Obviously, Allen's team didn't win the game. Obviously, he didn't win the game.
Great performance, Josh.
But there were so many reasons they lost, and
Josh.
none of them are
We
him.
said the same thing
Josh,
about
take
Elway,
that.
about Peyton Manning. Eventually,
Josh,
he's
take that
going to
home and
land
smoke
the
it.
I'm
hook.
going to have to bring the jersey over here.
Smoke,
At some point this
smoke
morning,
your stats at
the
your house
Allen
and your
jersey-
hookah, Josh.
All right.